Exodus 38. The altar of burning offering. They built the altar of burnt offerings of acacia wood, 3 cubits high. It was square, 5 cubits long, and 5 cubits wide. They made a horn at each of the 4 corners, so that the horns and the altar were one piece, and they overlaid the altar with bronze. They made all its utensils of bronze, its pots, shovels, sprinkling bowls, meat forks, and fire pans. They made a grating for the altar, a bronze network to be under its ledge. Halfway up the altar, they cast bronze rings to hold the poles for the 4 corners of the bronze grating. They made the poles of seal wood and overlaid them with bronze. They inserted the poles into the rings so they would be on the sides of the altar for carrying it. They made it hollow out of boards. The basin for washing. They made the bronze basin and its bronze stand for the mirrors of the women who served at the entrance to the tent of meeting, the courtyard. Next they made the courtyard. The south side was 100 cubits long and had curtains of finely twisted linen, with 20 posts and 20 bronze bases, and with silver hooks and bands of the posts. The north side was also 100 cubits long and had 20 posts and 20 bronze bases, with silver hooks and bands on the post. The west end was 50 cubits wide and had curtains, posts, and 10 bases with silver hooks and bands on the post. The east end, toward the sunrise, was also 50 cubits long, or wide. Curtains 15 cubits long were on the side of the entrance with 3 posts on 3 bases, and curtains 15 cubits long were on the other side of the entrance to the courtyard with 3 posts and 3 bases. All the curtains around the courtyard were of finely twisted linen. The bases for the posts were bronze. The hooks and the bands on the posts were silver, and their tops were overlaid with silver, so all the posts of the courtyard had silver bands. The curtain for the entrance to the courtyard was made out of blue, purple, and scarlet yarn and finely twisted linen, the work of the embroiderer. It was 20 cubits long and, like the curtains of the courtyard, 5 cubits high, with 4 posts and 4 bronze bases. Their hooks and bands were silver, and their tops were overlaid with a silver. All the tent pegs of the tabernacle of the surrounding courtyard were bronze. The materials used. These are the amounts of the materials used for the tabernacle of the covenant law, which were recorded at Moses' command by the Levites, under the direction of the Ithamar, son of Aaron, the priest, Bezalel, son of the Uri, the son of Hur, of the tribe of Judah, and made everything the Lord commanded Moses. With him was Oholiab, son of Ahisamach, of the tribe of Dan, an engraver and designer and embroiderer in the blue, purple, and scarlet yarn and fine linen. The total amount of the gold from the wave offerings used for all the work on the sanctuary was 29 talents and 730 shekels, according to the sanctuary shekel. The silver obtained from those of the community who were counted in the census was 100 talents and 1,775 shekels. According to the sanctuary shekels, 1 beka per person. This is half a shekel according to the sanctuary shekel from everyone who had crossed over to those counted, 20 years old or more, a total of 603,550 men. The 100 talents of silver were used to cast the bases for the sanctuary and for the curtain, 100 bases from the 100 talents, 1 talent for each base. They used 1,775 shekels to make the hooks for the post, to overlay the tops of the post, and to make their bands. The bronze from the wave offerings were 70 talents and 2,400 shekels. They used it to make the bases for the entrance to the tent of meeting, the bronze altar with its bronze grating and all its utensils, the bases for the surrounding courtyard, and those for its entrance, and all the tent pegs for the tabernacle, and those for the surrounding courtyard. The priestly garments. Exodus 39. From the blue, purple, and scarlet yarn they made the woven garments, made sacred garments for Aaron as the Lord commanded Moses. The ephod. They made the ephod of gold, of blue, purple, and scarlet yarn, and of finely twisted linen. They hammered out thin sheets of gold and cut strands to be worked into the blue, purple, and scarlet yarn and fine linen. The work of skilled hands. They made shoulder pieces for the ephod, which were attached to its corners, so it could be fastened. Its skillfully woven waistband was like it, one of the pieces of the ephod and made with gold, and with blue, purple, and scarlet yarn, and with finely twisted linen, as the Lord commanded Moses. He mounted the onyx stones in gold filigree settings and engraved them like a seal with the names of the sons of Israel. Then they fastened them on the shoulder pieces of the ephod as memorial stones for the sons of Israel, as the Lord commanded Moses. The breastpiece. They fashioned the breastpiece, the work of skilled craftsmen, then made it like ephod of gold, of blue, purple, and scarlet yarn, and finely twisted linen. It was square, a span long, and a span wide, and folded double. Then they mounted 4 rows of precious stones on it. The first row was carnelian, chrysolite, and beryllium. The second row was turquoise, lapis, lazuli, and emerald. The third row was jacinth, agate, and amethyst. The fourth row was topaz, onyx, and jasper. They were mounted in gold filigree settings. They were 12 stones, one for each of the names of the sons of Israel, each engraved like a seal with the name of one of the 12 tribes. For the breastpiece they made braided chains of pure gold like a rope. They made 2 gold filigree settings and 2 gold rings, and they fastened the rings to 2 of the corners of the breastpiece. They fastened the 2 gold chains to the rings at the corners of the breastpiece, and the other ends of the chains to the 2 settings, attaching them to the shoulder pieces of the ephod at the front. They made 2 gold rings and attached them to the other 2 corners of the breastpiece on the inside edge, next to the ephod. Then they made 2 more gold rings and attached them to the bottom of the shoulder pieces on the front of the ephod, close to the seam just above the waistband of the ephod. They tied the rings of the breastpiece to the rings of the ephod, with a blue cord connecting it to the waistband, so that the breastpiece would not swing out from the ephod, as the Lord commanded Moses. Other priestly garments. They made the robe of the ephod entirely of blue cloth, the work of the weaver, with an opening in the center of the robe like the opening of a collar, and a band around the opening, so that it would not tear. They made pomegranates of the blue, purple, and scarlet yarn, and finely twisted linen around the hem of the robe. And they made bells of pure gold attached and around the hem between the pomegranates. The bells and pomegranates altered around the hem of the robe to be worn for ministering, as the Lord commanded Moses. For Aaron and his sons they made tunics of fine linen, the work of weaver, and the turban of fine linen, the linen caps, and the undergarments of finely twisted linen. The sash was made of finely twisted linen and blue, purple, and scarlet yarn, the work of an embroiderer, as the Lord commanded Moses. They made the plate, the sacred emblem, out of pure gold, and engraved on it like an inscription on a seal, holy to the Lord. Then they fastened the blue cord to it, attached to the turban, as the Lord commanded Moses. Moses inspects the tabernacle. So all the work on the tabernacle, the tent of meeting, and completed, the Israelites did everything just as the Lord commanded Moses. Then they brought the tabernacle to Moses, the tent, all its furnishing, its clasps, frames, crossbars, posts, and bases, the covering of ram skins dyed red, and covering of another durable leather, and the shielding curtain, the ark of the covenant law with its poles, and the atonement cover, the table with all its articles, and the bread of the presence, the pure gold lampstand with its row of lamps, and all its accessories, and the olive oil for the light, the gold altar, the anointing oil, the fragrant incense, and the curtain for the entrance to the tent, the bronze altar with its bronze grating, its poles and its utensils, the basin with its stand, the curtains of the courtyard with its posts and bases, and the curtain for the entrance to the courtyard, the ropes and tent pegs for the courtyard, all the furnishing for the tabernacle, the tent of meeting, and the woven garments wore for ministering in the sanctuary, both the sacred garments for Aaron and the priest, the garments for his sons when serving as priests. The Israelites had done all the work just as the Lord had commanded Moses. Moses inspected the work and saw that they had done it just as the Lord had commanded, so Moses blessed them. Nice. I will see y'all tomorrow. Bye bye.